time for our mindful moment here. Thursdays, we like to take a mindful moment. And today I want to talk particularly about creative visualization, because mindfulness can be lots of different things. And we've talked a lot on the show about being in the moment, being fully engrossed in the moment to the point where, you feel your hand on something and feel the pressure of it and notice the light and all the sensory things going on. And that's a really great thing to be that level of mindful. But sometimes being mindful can mean traveling to something that doesn't exist yet, as long as it's something that reduces stress. Why not, right? There really aren't any rules, but let's say that if it makes you more stressed out, because I know my mind can travel to yesterday and all the things I didn't get done and then stress, and it can travel to tomorrow, all the things I don't know how they're going to go, stress, right? That's not useful for me if I'm focusing on reducing stress. So that's the big rule for creative visualization, is that it has to be something that reduces your stress. And it's a pretty powerful tool. What creative visualization is sitting quietly someplace where you're comfortable. You can be laying down, you can be sitting down, it can be on a beach if you want it to be, or it can be in a dark room where you're laying on your bed at night before you go to sleep. But you allow your mind to take a journey into something that you want to have happen. So for instance, if what you want more than anything else is, one of the things that while we were in our early intensive intervention that I would visualize is my son standing in front of me in a cap and gown, and him saying to me, "Mom, thank you so much for everything that you did to make it possible for me to be here," right? I want that moment. So I would say, and just thinking about that moment puts a silly, stupid grin on my face, because I know that that's going to happen. And that has happened without the cap and gown, right? When he graduated from 6th grade, he didn't have a cap and gown, but he was there in a tie, right? And saying to me, "Thank you so much, Mom." So, and here's the kicker. Whether I have that exact moment at any point, it doesn't matter, because whenever I sit and close my eyes and I picture my son doing that, man, I can do things that I couldn't do 3 minutes before. I can power through something. I can make a phone call. I can work on homework that I couldn't 3 minutes before, right? I have more at my disposal than I had before, and I'm coming from a place of knowing that it's worth it, right? And that's just a very short little, a little snippet. Like it's like a vine that are like 6 seconds long, that I can picture him there in the cap and gown going, "Thanks, Mom," right? 6 seconds, whew, and my day feels better. But you can do things that are longer, and sometimes there are guided meditations that you can do. We have a guided meditation that is some creative visualization that is on our site. It's on our Facebook. Well, I'll see if we can move it up closer to the front of the Facebook. But it's a meditation that we have for stressed out parents, and it's 11 minutes long, and a guided meditation where I take you on a journey so that you feel more empowered by the end of it, hopefully. But stop and consider, like, what are the things that you'd like to, and I know it gets a little airy-fairy here, but what would you like to call into being in your life? I remember a time when all I wanted was to be in a house, not an apartment. And it consumed me. And, now it seems like it was a silly thing, but it was important to me. It was important that my son have a backyard. It was important that he have a dog, and I knew we couldn't have a dog without a backyard. It was important to me personally to garden, and to be able to grow organic things in the backyard. Even if they all died, the practice of it was something that I needed. So I would visualize every day us living in a house. And in my creative visualization, it was okay to rent. I didn't need to own the house. It was okay to rent it, but that I pictured us there. And the key to whether it's a decent creative visualization is how you feel after you've spent a couple of minutes visualizing it. And every time I would visualize us living in a house, I felt capable and I felt excited and like good things were going to happen. And that's the way we all want to be approaching the day. And eventually, we did get to rent a house with a backyard and get a dog. And I have found in my life that the things that we do, I know I said it was going to get airy fairy, the things that you visualize creatively that make you feel good tend to be the things that we put focus into. I don't think it's some magical, mystical thing and that, the creative visualization fairy goes, oh, here's a house for you to rent. But I do think we put more time and energy into that and we focus more on it and we follow through on the goals that help us to get through that so that we get to do it. So stop and think about it today. What are you wanting? What would make you happy to visualize? I love when the lotto gets big, the super lotto gets big, and it's billions and billions of dollars. I love to spend a couple of minutes and visualize how would I utilize $13 billion. What would I do with $13 billion? And I make sure if I start to feel stressed about, oh, would I give it to this or that? No, that's not it. There's great abundance that's out there. And I think about how would I utilize this cash. And you know what? I'm always happy for a day after. Yep, I don't have $1 billion. I don't have $13 billion. But the truth of the matter is if I can walk around for 5 minutes and feel like I do, I don't know. It probably isn't as good, but since I don't know the difference, it feels as good as having it to me. So what do you want to feel like? What do you want to bring into your life? What do you want to call into your life? Spend a minute, go on a mental vacation, visualize it. Picture it in your head. It can be short. But if it makes you feel better, do it. It's free, right? So that's our creative visualization.